everyone, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys some different tricks and how to teach your horse to do those different tricks. So I'm going to start off with teaching Riley spin. So I've never done any spin with her yet. I've never tried to work on spin, so this will be her first time. So I like to start off with just yielding the hindquarters. So I'm going to do both ways. Good. Good. Now I'm going to, so the next step is, so get your horse used to you throwing the rope around them. So my method is to throw it over their head and go around their back, this, and then ask them to turn, yield, and then walk towards her back. Get her another way. Good. And I like to reward with treats. Alright, so now we're going to do this the other way. And let her walk towards you. Good. Well, let your horse walk towards you for now. So now, how are you going to teach? So the cue is going to be to throw it around over their head. And then you're going to move the front, bring it over the back, and then, good. Okay, so I'm going to teach her to spin going this way. So I'm going to throw it over her. And I'm going to, okay, good. Good girl. Alright, so that's the first set. Alright, so now, when you put this over, and then you're going to push. Good. And try not to use your rope as much to spin them around. Good. Alright, so actually I forgot to say it's good to practice on spinning, well, pivoting both ways. And this way. So, there. Alright, so now I'm going to, so the cue is when you throw the rope over, and then the next step is to push them away from you, and then put some pressure on their back. Good. Alright, so now I'm going to let go of my rope when she spins, and then I'm going to bring her back to me. So sometimes when you're first trying this and they don't come back to you when they spin, you need to keep on doing this more until they learn. So keep on. Alright, so put some pressure. Good! There, I didn't use the lead rope at all. So good girl. Alright, so now I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm going to move on to something else. So, alright guys, now I'm going to work on Spanish walk. So I'm going to teach you guys how to teach your horse how to do Spanish walk. So I've already taught her Spanish walk, but I'm just going to teach you like the first things that I do when I teach them Spanish walk. So I like to do it on both sides at first. Usually I start on this side, and I'm going to start in front of them like this, and I'm going to start tapping on the front of their leg. Here, let me back up. Okay, so I'm going to start tapping on her front leg. So she of course does it, but you're going to tap softly at first, and if there's any movement of the front leg, then you need to reward. Now, if they're just moving all over the place, do not reward. Keep tapping until they just lift the leg you're asking for. So if they're just being stubborn and they're not picking up their foot, and you keep on tapping, you need to tap harder. So first do little taps, and then reward when they do it. And if they don't, and they're being stubborn, tap harder, and then until they pick up their leg. So now for the other side, walk around them. Don't try to do on the other side. It's just harder for them to learn. So you're going to tap until they pick up their leg better. Good. So you got the idea? So it's actually not that complicated. This way usually works on every horse. And then once your horse gets the cues better, you can stay on this side, and then you just tap. And then, okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is when you introduce the walk. So what I like to do is I like to make my horse walk up a little bit, and then stop, and then do the Spanish walk, and then walk up a bit, and then do the Spanish walk. Okay, so keep doing this until they have the forward motion. So walk up a little bit and ask for the Spanish walk. Good. And then pull them forward just a bit like this. Yep. There. So she's getting a bit confused. And if they're just totally not paying attention to you, you can yield the hindquarters and then ask them to stop. So I'm going to ask her to do, and you will, okay. No. They'll get confused, but you just got to keep asking them. Whoa. So she was walking around there, and I was asking her to yield, and then ask again for the right leg. No. There. Alright, and this will take a couple of days. You just need to do it daily, or at least twice or 3 times a week. Alright, so that's that, and then I'm going to go back to the spin and work on spin. So, I'm going to take the rope over again. Okay, I'm going to throw it over. So right there she got pretty far, so I'm going to let her walk towards me. Good girl. Good girl. Alright. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to Spanish walk, because she wasn't doing it very good. Okay. Whoa. So if your horse is just not paying attention like she is, get at them a little bit. Alright, so now, good, 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 no, good. She was pawing there a little bit, but... Alright. Whoa. Finish. Good. 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 There you go. So I was asking her there just to pick her feet up a little bit more. So I just tapped a little harder. Alright, so now I'm going to show y'all how I taught her bow. So really, I only did one session with her one time of bow. So what I like to do, I like to throw over my rope like this. And what you're going to do is you're just going to practice picking up their leg. So just do this and make sure that they hold it still for you. Oh. She was almost going to bow. So go up to them and just pick up their leg. Good girl. So now when your horse has got the picking up the leg good and they're doing it softly for you, you want to teach your horse how to do vertical flexing. So basically it's just asking for their head. Now all you're going to do is wiggle it back and forth until they release their head and they drop it down. So you want to be very gentle with this, and you want to keep asking and don't get hard on them. Just keep asking soft. So all I'm doing is wiggling it and then pulling it down. And when she drops her head, I release. And I like to reward after a little bit. So, lightly ask. Good. Alright, so now, if your horse has gotten the head down good and picking up the leg softly, now the next thing that you want to do is go to pick up their leg. And ask them to put their head down. Okay? She bowed. Good. So that's the next step, to ask them to put their head down while you're lifting up their leg. And after, if they're not, so next thing is when you have their head and they put their head down, you're going to try to teach them that. She keeps bowing. But the next thing is to ask for a little bit. You're going to pull back just a little bit until you feel like they've given a little bit back and they've put their leg lower down. And then you want to let go of the leg and you want to reward. So now some horses are going to have issues because it can be scary to go down. Older horses, but sometimes they will surprise you and they will bow. So when I was teaching her the first session that I did, she just bowed down right away when I pulled her head. Okay, so now after practicing this a little bit, your horse should get into the rhythm of just going down without you pulling. So like you saw here, I just lift up her leg and she puts her head down. Oh, and she bows. So if you want them to speak, Miriam, help! Help! Okay. So she just laid down, and my leg was stuck underneath her. So that was really unexpected. I don't know what really happened. I have been trying to teach her to lay down, but I don't think she would do it. And this is not how I was teaching her to lay down. So that was really crazy. That was a little scary because I had my leg underneath her for a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, so I'll have to look at the video. And I am rewarding her because I've been trying to teach her to lay down for a long time. So, okay, now if you don't want to teach your horse lay down and they lay down, you're just going to get them right back up and try again. Alright. So yeah, if you actually do want to teach your horse to lay down, that's a way. You start with bow, and then what I would usually do is pull their head to the side, and then they would eventually fold down or like slowly go down. Oh, I don't really want her to get up just quite yet. Good girl. Good. And you usually want to ask your horse to get up. You don't want them to get up on their own. All right, get up. Get up. Okay, that was a very unexpected. For a minute there, I thought she was going to roll and smash my leg. All right, so now I'm going to go back to bow without a lay down. So pick up the leg, and if you do need to, you can press on their chest. Good girl. Alright, so this is what your bow should look like after a couple of days. And if it's not, just put in the comments what you're having problems with, and I'll try to explain what's going on and why, and try to see how you can teach yours to bow a different way. Alright, so actually now I'm going to go back to spin and throw this over her. Okay, I'm going to press. Let her walk towards you. Good girl. Alright. So that was really unexpected, and your horse may accidentally fall down, but probably not. But actually, that was good because I'm trying to teach her lay down. So, and if you want to teach your horse lay down, you can teach them to lay down on one leg, and then with the other leg you can do bow. So I haven't ever taught her bow on this leg, on her other leg. So actually let me show you, because this actually might be, so I've never taught her on the other leg. So this will be a good example how your horses are probably going to react to when you ask them to bow. Alright, so pick up her leg, ask for her head, and then start pulling back just a little bit. See, and then she went back. Good. See, she didn't go all the way to the ground, but she gave in a lot. So that was good. So once they do it really good, you want to be done with that. Be done with that for a while. Nice singing, Pete.